Well, welcome everybody. I'm David Hetherington. We got some interesting information for you in these next two sessions. I am going to presume that you've already watched the predecessor video on how to pass level 3. Please don't take that lightly. The level 3 exam is quite different in a number of critical issues from level 1 and 2. And unfortunately, that's the reason the pass rate is so low at level 3. It's really tempting to sort of go on autopilot. You got some good ideas, they worked well at level 1 and 2, and you just keep charging straight ahead, and they're about to make a turn, and you're going to charge right ahead, and you're not going to pass the exam. So we want to try to get you reoriented into what's going on at level 3. From the previous video on how to pass, you should know that this is essentially 100% portfolio management, a topic that didn't really count for much of anything at level 1 and 2. Now it's the focus. That ties directly into the use of constructed response. If you're not familiar with the term CR, we mean the constructed response, half of the exam, sometimes called essay, but essay is a very broad term. CR is much more specific than the broad statement essay, and you'll find out that CR is very widely used, so we need to hone in on what does it mean in the context of the CFA exam. You don't care what it means in an English major's exam, you care about what does it mean on the CFA exam so you can get this done. The change to CR, the application of portfolio management, and essentially this requires more judgment, is a big reason the pass rate is so abysmally low at level 3. We'd like to put you on the right side of that. With a constructed response, you've got to provide the answer. You can't just look and select. That requires, again, more judgment on your part of where should you go? What are the important issues? Level 3 requires a deeper level of knowledge than level 1 and 2. Now that's a very odd kind of a statement. I've worked with a lot of people over the course of my career, and every once in a while you find those people who really, if you have a problem, that's who you want to help you because they're so good at what they do. What they do is they know the basics. They don't go off on tangents. They're not trying to think of some exotic issue. They have a rock solid understanding of the basics. They do know all the side issues, and if necessary they can go into them, but almost never should you be doing that. You're going to find the level 3 exam questions test the basics, and when you head off into tangents you may think you're doing the right thing, and then you're so confused when you get back this "you did not pass" letter. So we're going to try to start to deal with those kind of things in these sessions. We do want to focus particularly on the issue of the question style and how to deal with it, but of course we can't completely separate that from the content. You'll see us referring to both as we go through this. In terms of our objectives in this particular session, what is constructed response? Why is it being used? Because if you don't understand that, you're going to be headed off in the wrong directions. We're going to start doing some actual questions, and we're going to show you a bad answer. It's a lot more fun to look at what someone else did and point out what's wrong with it, but it can also be a learning experience of how do you construct good answers. So then we'll start to talk about the appropriate way to approach constructed response, and we'll show you a good answer to that question. We'll talk about some do's and don'ts. Again, it's kind of fun to look at what doesn't work because a lot of them seem very seductively appealing, but they in fact do not work. So we're going to emphasize what will work for you. Then we'll move into another question where we have two parts, because you'll find it's very, very rare, almost never,